Yesterday at the PowerCon convention in Anaheim, California, Kevin Smith of Jay and Silent Bob fame, and the same Kevin Smith that did an interview with Stan Lee that you could actually see online, courtesy of YouTube, or even buy the DVD, back in 2002 that is. This is when he did the interview, in time for the Spider-Man Tobey Maguire movie, appeared at PowerCon to make the announcement that he, along with Netflix and along with Mattel Television and overall the Mattel Corporation and Powerhouse Animation, who is known for their anime style in presentation of shows like Dragon Prince and Castlevania, which ironically are on Netflix, came out and made the announcement that Netflix, along with him, Powerhouse, and Mattel, are going to continue the 1980s continuity of He-Man and Masters of the Universe, but do it under the name Masters of the Universe Revelation. And what's cool about this, or kind of, well, it's cool and ironic about this, is He-Man will be a focal point in the series, but the main lead obviously is going to be Man-at-Arm's daughter, Teela. Yeah, Teela is going to be the main lead of the series. And there is more information about that you could check out on YouTube, my channel, Clownfish TV, you name it. I'm sure a lot of people are talking about it. But with the announcement of the fact that the 1980s He-Man series is getting a continuation with Revelation, the thought came across a lot of folks of what other 80s and even 90s action-adventure properties could benefit from a continuation nowadays, thanks to places like Netflix, Powerhouse Animation, you name it. And the list is coming out by the droves, literally. People across social media have kind of given their ideas of what shows should be given that treatment next. Shows like Hasbro's Inhumanoids, which only lasted about 13 seasons due to its controversial graphic nature. And whether or not it's a continuation or a reboot, either way, fans would be satisfied as long as it's a very faithful adaptation to the original source material. And I'm sure if they took the main lead or the main female lead of the protagonist team and group and gave her the decomposed into monster treatment once or twice in the series, just like in the original. But that's not the only series people would point out. I could definitely tell you that people are coming out of the woodworks and probably suggesting shows like Silverhawks, which is from Rankin Bass, and basically giving that a continuation of some sort. Some would come out and say Brave Star, give that a shot. Some would say, oh, I don't know, Mask, the 1986 series, Mask. You know, give that a shot at a continuation. Shows like that, you know, even maybe take a shot at doing a continuation of Battle of the Planets, G-Force, Gatchaman, if you will. You know, all these potential 80s cartoons that many might feel deserve a continuation or some kind of soft reboot or retcon is endless. And I can definitely tell you, I wouldn't mind seeing maybe a continuation or even a soft retcon or reboot of Inhumanoids, as long as it is faithful to the original. Same with Silverhawks. Same with Brave Star. You know, any of these. I wouldn't mind it. Heck, you know, a lot of people would like to see a continuation or a reboot of the Cadillac Cats from Heathcliff and the Cadillac Cats. That's a property that a lot of people feel that under the right creative team and animation team and distributors could be a success. Same with, believe it or not, the Get Along Gang. Ironically, Rowdy C of TV Trash, of Rowdy's Reviews, Chris Moore, did or closed up or followed up or finished up, brought to a conclusion his 80s Summer Spectacular episodes, where he reviewed specials and series from the 80s. And the last episode he did a review for, or the last thing he did a review for, was Get Along Gang. And ironically, it got me to go look up the new Get Along Gang, because there were plans back around 2005 and 6 to revive it as a CGI series and an actual continuation. Yeah. So somebody actually in the comment section suggested, why not get someone like a Lauren Faust to come on board and help revive the Get Along Gang, I should say, as a continuation or even a reboot, because obviously the person looks at Lauren Faust as being that proven commodity that can take any property from the past, give it a fresh coat of paint with a new take on it, and it becomes a hit. And again, you don't believe me or this person that made the comment, check out Friendship is Magic, and even, I believe, DC Superhero Girls currently, and you'll see exactly what people are talking about. But it's not just those kind of shows either that could definitely benefit from, let's say, appearing or debuting on things like Netflix or Boomerang or whatever, and giving that new fresh coat of paint. Heck, you know what series got a new fresh coat of paint? What toy franchise got a fresh coat of paint courtesy of CGI? Ever hear and Bob Show actually did a review on this. Ever hear of the Mo-Chi-Chis, or whatever they're called? The Ma-Chi-Chis? I can't think of the name right now. Yeah, they ended up getting a reboot on Boomerang. So if that kind of a series can get a new fresh coat of paint and a new take on it, so can anybody else. But basically, thanks to the announcement that Kevin Smith made of He-Man coming back under the Masters of the Universe Revelation title as a continuation of the original 80s series, a lot of people, like I said, are coming out with ideas of shows that could either benefit from the same treatment of either being a continuation of the original or being a reboot that's very faithful to the original. I mean, again, there's so many series out there. I mean, Warner Brothers owns some of these series that a lot of people would say, yeah, these series could definitely benefit from a fresh coat of paint. Like, let's say, Biscuits, another show that Rowdy C reviewed. You know, a lot of people say there's potential there if you want to continue that or even reboot it. What else is there? Well, let's see. What else is there? I mean, there are shows like, let's say, Galaxy High. You know, that may have not been a big of a hit as people would hope, but hey, you give it a fresh coat of paint, you give it a continuation within the same continuity, bring in some new characters, keep it true to the original, who knows? Who knows what you can have there? I mean, the possibilities are very endless with a lot of stuff. Very endless. Heck, I was just thinking of it right now. On various video uploading sites, people have a list or an ultimate playlist in one video or multiple part videos of cartoon intros. One intro that surprised me when I saw it was called Spiral Zone. That to me has the potential, or had the potential maybe to be something good. Apparently it wasn't. But if you were to bring something like that to the forefront and say Powerhouse TV, Netflix, hey, you want to do a continuation of this or a new take on this? Here you go. As long as it's faithful to the original. Or how about this one? Ulysses 31. I think that's what it was called. Ulysses 31. Imagine a continuation of that, but with his son in the lead role instead of Ulysses himself. That to me has the potential that if you put Powerhouse TV and Netflix behind that, and keep it faithful as a continuation to the original, that'll get people watching. What else? One I definitely watched when I was a kid, and I think a lot of people would love to see a continuation of. Jace and the Wheeled Warriors. Imagine a company like Powerhouse TV behind that. Imagine an animation company behind Jace and the Wheeled Warriors. Imagine that. That, to me, would have potential to be what a lot of people are hyping up, and Kevin Smith, I should say, is hyping up Revelation of Masters of the Universe is going to be. That right there, Jace and the Wheeled Warriors, would have the same potential. They would. Again, it's an endless list of titles from the 80s and the 90s. There's no doubt. One franchise that, Rob the Wonderful talked about and did a review of, one of his earlier reviews on the Cartoon Clip Show, was Bucky O'Hare. Imagine doing a continuation of Bucky O'Hare. Imagine that, but you take the kid, what was his name, Willie, and you age him up to a proper age to where if you want to continue the whole flirtation romance with him and Jenny, there you go. Perfect, appropriate, as some people would say. The point is there are a ton of titles out there that have the potential. Heck, you could go as far as the 1960s. You could go as far as the 1960s, and you get Warner Brothers to get behind possibly doing a continuation or a new take on Space Ghost. Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Well, not Coast to Coast, but basically the original Space Ghost. Possibilities are endless. You have them get behind maybe doing a Herculoids continuation. Possibilities are endless. Thundar the Barbarian. You get Warner Brothers behind that with the best animation team similar maybe to Powerhouse. Possibilities are endless. Or what about this one? Galatar. I think that's Galatar and the Golden Lance. I think that's what the title of the show was. Imagine doing Galatar as a continuation under Powerhouse. Imagine the possibilities there. That would be huge. That would be really huge. Heck, there are shows like Cops, Cyber Cops to some, that you want to do a reboot or a continuation of that. That would be something. Again, possibilities are endless. Wildcats, the animated series based on the Jim Lee comic strip or comic book. It only had one season. But if you want to do a continuation of that, and you get someone like Powerhouse TV behind it, and the fact that you could be, free to do a lot more, imagine people wanting to see more of that. As well as things like Skeleton Warriors, Captain Power. The possibilities, again, are endless. They are endless. Again, possibilities endless. Another series that has a great intro that you can find on the Ultimate 80s Intro. Zara Nizarak has talked about this. Adventures of the Galaxy Rangers. Imagine that being continued or rebooted through Netflix and Powerhouse and all that. Again, possibilities are just endless. How about Dino Saucers? You want to promote Jurassic Park in a way, continue or reboot Dino Saucers. Again, possibilities are endless. Archie's Weird Mysteries was a big hit. Well, it wasn't a big hit, but it was a decent hit for Dick Animation and Archie Comics. Imagine getting the license to do something like that in animation, a continuation. That would be a hit to a lot of folks. Again, like I said, the possibilities are out there. They are endless. And all we need is just the proper people to come out and say, we're going to take a chance on this, contact the right animation studios, some favoring Powerhouse from an anime style perspective, as well as whoever they feel would be a great distributor, and go from there. I mean, I'll tell you right now, and they actually commented on a video I did for them about a couple months ago. Season 3 animated, that's season SEA3 SON animated, thanked me for talking about the project that they're currently doing to try to bring an animated conclusion to the lost season 3 of Sonic SatAM. Now, Sonic SatAM is a series that if the people at Season Animated weren't going to try to make a reality already through Patreon and other fundraising sites like I think Indiegogo and stuff like that, Sonic SatAM's third season continuation would be something that right now would definitely benefit. Definitely benefit from not only promoting this new movie coming out, but give proper closure to the series. And heck, if you want to bring in Powerhouse Animation to do it, then I'd say go with it. Same could be said with Sonic Underground. Despite how people might feel about that series, that's a series that could definitely benefit from a continuation or a conclusion through something like Powerhouse Animation or whatnot and Netflix, because obviously fans still have a love for that series and they still want to see a proper conclusion. In the end, guys, in closing, I will say this. What Kevin Smith did was great. I loved it. But basically what he also did was open the door. Open the door for possibilities, for endless possibilities of other 80s and 90s properties to be given that same treatment. Either as a reboot that's faithful to the original or a continuation. And not many series, like I said in my video last night, not many series get this opportunity to have a continuation. The only other series I know of that got that chance was Biker Mice from Mars. They got that chance when they were continued on around, 2012, I believe? I can't really remember, I gotta look it up. But they were continued, and even though it was one season or 1.5 seasons, it was still something fans were happy to see because you got closure to a lot of stories, a lot of, characters, a lot of plots that were left unanswered. You got closure to them and stuff like that. And it stayed faithful to the original source material. So that's the only other series I know of that got a proper conclusion, that in continuation that was faithful to the original. And what has happened here is they've opened the door for that to happen again. Not just with He-Man and the Masters of the Universe and their continuation known as Revelation, but with possible other 80s and 90s shows that never got a proper conclusion or had a lot of plot threads and stuff left unanswered that could definitely benefit from a continuation. So that's all I'm going to say, guys, though. But let me know what you think. What 80s and 90s properties that I named here or I haven't named here do you think could benefit from the same treatment that Revelations, Masters of the Universe Revelation is getting as a continuation to the original 1980s He-Man and the Masters of the Universe? What other 90s and 80s shows do you believe, properties do you believe could benefit from that same treatment, either as a continuation or a reboot that's faithful to the original source material? Let me know down below, comment if you like, and I'll talk to you all later.